Yo, Facey, what's up? Arihia F Sun going live on. This is a live especially for mothers. Just gonna tune in to myself first. Going live, going live, going live. Okay, let's roll. So, the title of this live was as a mother you feel unsupported and stretched, and that is so common for mothers, and it creates this tightness and constriction in our life, and it begins to consume everything and affect everything, from the way that you breathe to the way that you speak, to the way that you relate to your children, the way that you relate to your partners, your partner, the way that you relate to love, the way that you relate to life, the way that you relate to money. Hey everyone that's joining, and hey Selah. So when you are in this space, and it's kind of like you almost get there, and in retrospect, you're like, oh, how did I get here? But when you're in it, it's very challenging to actually step out of that constriction and that tightness and that heaviness and that stress to be able to navigate your way to somewhere new. And often the words that mothers will say in this space is, I feel unsupported, I feel alone, I have no time, and this is my biggest challenge. So often I have just been through a phase where I found that my son, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because I was so deeply challenged by my relationship with my son, and it was kind of spiraling out of control, in the sense that we just were not communicating with each other at all. In a good way, and it affected everything in my life, and I was in just this nervous state, and constantly kind of like, on like my nervous system, nothing could land for me. And so everything that I tried in every other sphere of my life, I kept hitting a brick wall, because this core relationship of me and my son, we weren't meeting each other, we weren't hearing each other. There was love wasn't restored in there. There was stuff that we needed to work through as a mother and a son, or mother and child, that that wasn't being done, that I couldn't find to look at. And there was so much walls around my heart that I couldn't actually find my own way out by myself. And I think that this is really common for mothers, and we feel like we should know what we have to do. We feel like, and then we start making ourselves wrong, because we don't. Like, when you're in that state, you don't know what to do. You truly cannot see the woods for the trees, and you can feel it happening. You can see the spiral going round. It's like repeat. You're on repeat, but you can't pull yourself out. it's like you're just walking circles around and around and around. And it's, as women and as mothers, we like really blame ourselves, and that makes it worse. We make ourselves wrong, and then the trap just starts all over again, but this time the trap's even tighter. And so we just get tighter and tighter and tighter, until we just turn, like, we're so closed that everything is affected. So this is, I want to share about how, like, me turning my biggest challenge into my greatest gift. And for mothers, it's really important for us to watch our language around what we're saying. So when I was saying my son is like the biggest challenge in my life right now. So when I was saying that, what are the chances that I'm going to want to go in there and fix that? Like, Not so much. Hey, Kristen, not so much, like, so when you're in that and you're naming that, you're labeling that as, this is my biggest challenge, this is my hardest place, it's like you're piling a whole ton of more negative, challenging energy in that space. It makes it harder. So flicking that switch into, this is my greatest gift, because it is, like, as a mother, or for me, that's a commitment. Like, for me, my commitment as a mother is to see this young man, this young child, this innocent soul, to be safely guided with his own spirit into adulthood, into his own adulthood, into his own expression of who he is, in a way that is safe and nurturing. And I forgot what I was saying, but that wasn't happening. Obviously that wasn't happening when you're in that challenging space. So the thing is that when we start blaming stuff outside of ourselves, which is what I was doing, I was like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm a solo mother, I feel alone, and I was playing out these stories over and over and over, which will never help. They validate your crutch, and they make it about things that are external to you, and they make that wall around your heart even colder, even harder. And it's that heart space, like when you're truly in the truth of who you are, and who you are as a mother, and that love that you have to give, that's when you get to play. Like, that's when the relationship with your child gets to grow and expand and be nourished and nurtured and beautiful. And that's when it truly is in its gift. But getting to that space is also a gift. So it takes deep listening. It takes forgiveness. It takes forgiveness of yourself. It takes forgiveness of your lineage. Like, so much of what we take on as a parent is not even our own stuff most of the time. It's not even our parents' stuff. It's no one's fault. It's just here, and it's something that we can choose to process or not. And the only way ever to be able to process that is by being in your heart, like really allowing yourself, like when you're speaking to your children, when you're speaking, when you're sharing, when you're living, to constantly bring yourself back to your heart. And the only way to crack that heart open to start with, when like I was explaining at the beginning of this, when you're in that constricted space, when you're in trauma, when you're in like anxiety, when you're in stress, when you have the pressure of motherhood that you've placed on yourself, or that that you feel like it's external, the only way is to start forgiving yourself and stop judging and stop blaming yourself, and find a place for yourself to really settle into your heart and navigate from there. So maybe you're acting from an aligned place, maybe you're acting from a programmed place. Like, you will never know until you really gift yourself the time to listen to your heart, to be guided from that space of love and seeing the relationship between your child as a gift, not a challenge. And those are great words, but the embodiment of that and the practice of that, what that actually looks like, it may look like 100 times a day you have to catch and coach yourself. Like, you find yourself getting reactive, you find yourself getting angry, you find yourself getting stressed, you find yourself feeling alone, you find yourself in all these spaces that are false identities. They're not really true, they're not really you, but there's so much momentum in those stories that you begin to start identifying with them. Until you bring yourself back to the heart, you catch yourself over and over and over, all day, every day, like 100 times a day if you have to. And from that space, that's when you can begin to grow abundantly. That's when you begin to prosper. That's when your relationships begin to flourish. And this is the true truth of abundance. And for me, as a solo mother, what I've learned is that my abundance, my relationship with my son, is the core relationship in my life. That abundance stems from. Like, when we're good and when we're a unit and when we're strong, that's when everything else flows. So I wanted to share with you an offering I will be launching on Monday. It's called Return to Love, the Art of Motherhood. And hey Sarah. Yes, so this is called Return to Love, the Art of Motherhood. It's $59. It's for 5 days. It's a 5-day program about returning to love, like really supporting mothers who feel like they're lost, who feel like lost in motherhood, who it's really a remembering of who you are. It's not anything like radically new. It's stuff that you already know, but you just know that you need support. You know that you need help. You know that you need someone to like show you, to pull you out of that washing machine, because sometimes you need that help. You need someone else's reflection, and you need a safe space to do it. So this is going to be a journey into forgiveness, a journey into your own alignment, and a journey of a returning back to you, a returning back to your truth, so that you're not like knocked and buffeted by your own judgment and the judgment of other people in your motherhood journey, and therefore in the rest of your life journey. It's $59 only for today is the early bird price, and it's going to go up to $99. That's Australian, so if you're in America, it's like 3/4 of that, which is like, I'm only going to be doing that price once. You will have full-time access to that community, even though it's a 5-day program. It will be about teaching you to listen and tune back into you as a mother, as your own guidance, as your own truth, and from your own heart. Please message me if you are interested. We start on Monday, and I will be running this quite a few times. And everything that I've talked about on the live today, this is my own deep personal experience, and I will be sharing tools and techniques that you can utilize straight away to transform what you perceive as your biggest challenge into your greatest gift. Really start releasing some of that stress that you're holding in your body, start releasing that anxiety, start releasing anything that you're holding on to that is holding you back from showing up in your life and in motherhood as the absolute best version of who you can be. So it's deep listening, forgiveness, simplicity, breath, catching yourself 100 times a day, and up-leveling who you are as a mother, and where you go from there, like, so that you know what your next step is. I find a lot of mothers have this like fuzz, like this crazy fuzz, and you're kind of like doing circles, and you might try this way or that way, or like push on so many doors, but never actually walk through the door or follow through with ideas, because we feel so, as mothers, we can feel so like overwhelmed, and also in that overwhelmment feel like we're supposed to know what to do, we're meant to know what to do, and in that we start making ourselves wrong, and then we spiral again. So this Return to Love, the Art of Motherhood, this is going to give you the tools to remain in your center when life is happening, so that you know exactly how to tune into your path, exactly how to tune into your heart, and what clear steps you need to take next. So this will be truly transformational, and a really safe place for you to nurture yourself and find yourself again, and navigate through motherhood. So I'd love to see you there if you're interested. Like I said, we start on Monday the 20th of October. It goes for 5 days. It's $59 is the early bird price today, and that will be going up to $99 starting tomorrow. Hope to see you guys there. Send me a message.